Etzebeth, who has become Sharks' talisman since moving to Durban from France, was unable to play in the second half of last weekend's stunning 50-35 win over Munster in Champions Cup round of 16. Rugby director Neil Powell later said Etzebeth's injury would be evaluated and he would go to screening, but it became clear that the Sharks had agreed to go without him for the quarterfinals. Eben Etzebeth is believed to be unlikely to play in Southern playoff fixture against Toulouse on Saturday, which could be a major setback for C Sharks' chances advance beyond quarterfinal stage of Heineken Champions Cup. And as Emile van Heerden, other starting lock against Munster, has leave field shortly after Etzebeth with what appears to be a dislocated shoulder, Sharks will have dig deep into their second place source for France trip. It looks like Vincent Tuka will move from flank to goal, where he will partner with Gerbrandt Grobler and possible substitute Reniel Hugo on the bench. On positive side, Sharks escaped without both Etzebeth and Van Heerden in second half of Munster shootout, which was effective when they took control of game. However, Etzebeth is enforcer of team, and there is a noticeable difference between Sharks teams that keep Springbok in reserve and those that take field without him. Etzebeth's absence should minimize the possibility of a shocking result, as Toulouse is likely to start as strong favourites. Even at Toulouse's own court, the Sharks have an outside chance if Etzebeth is present. Scrumhalf Jaden Hendrikse is also a dubious start to Saturday's shootout, but this case, first-choice player has an exceedingly talented substitute in the form of placid X-Factor Grant Williams' number 9 jersey. The injury situation offset a normally positive day for Sharks against Munster, and later Powell said he was pleased with the way his men turned situation after their disappointing defeat to Scarlets at Vodacom Unified Rugby Championship previous week. It's been a good comeback for us and team should be thanked for reversing the disappointment in Scarlet game. The guys realized they needed to get better and they did, said Powell. Defense needs to be improved. However, Powell was realistic enough to admit that one of the areas his team has been working on for a long time this season has remained that way defense. While Sharks effectively set themselves on path to victory by supplementing their offensive dominance with swarm defenses in close channels, Munster struggles under pressure from inside and Sharks gain many turnovers, outer defense again in doubt. In addition to early try made by Munster, they also 3 good tries when they found acres of space to play after ball had passed through hands and inside defenders been handled and removed from competition. It's the final quarter to turn what seems like a rout into an ultimately semi-respectable scoreboard for the losers. Our offense was good in this game, but we set ourselves high standards and the last 20 minutes have been disappointing, said Powell. We will have to fix that if we want to go further in the competition. We have been able to put pressure on the ball, but we still have been good at defense. Toulouse is such a good offensive team, now we have to look at our defense if want to beat the next one. Something Sharks never had at the start of Munster game in Toulouse, though, is momentum. I think everybody understands how important momentum is in rugby. We didn't have a game like this against the Scarlets last week and it's very difficult for players coming back after 8 weeks. But we've taken a step forward in this game and it's time to take another step in all departments next week. We know it will be necessary.